Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome back to another edition of NBC's 10 Count. I'm C. Fall, but on today's edition, I'm talking to one of my childhood heroes, hardcore legend, Hall of Famer, former world champion. I could go on and on. It's Mick Foley. Mick, how you doing today?
Everything is good. Once I figured out this the Zoom thing, I'm good, man. I know. I'm sorry I don't have as much time as we would like, but I'm happy to be here.
You're a busy man because September 16th through the 18th, you'll be in Manchester, New Hampshire, the Granite State, the Granite Con, signing autographs, meeting fans. Now, when you go to these events, like, what's the most common question you get asked when you go to these?
I used to be, did it hurt?
Which one?
They're talking specifically about the cell match with The Undertaker.
Yeah.
I still get that a lot because the cool thing about the conventions, which I do not get when I do the one-man shows because it's always 18 and older, 21 and older, even though the show itself is not adult in content, but because, they serve beverages of the adult variety there. The great thing about these cons is that so many of the people who come up were not even born when that match took place. So they do want to know about that. They want to know what it was like to team up with The Rock, and they want to know how Al Snow is doing. Actually, no, nobody brings that up, but they do bring up those other two questions.
I have some magazines of you on them, and one has you and Al Snow. It's funny because March 99, February 99, back-to-back covers. I'm not sure that anyone's actually done that, maybe besides Hulk Hogan in the 80s, but here you are, living proof. It's true.
Cover boy, yeah.
So you
knock on me, Pro Wrestling Illustrated used to be the bellwether on wrestling magazines.
Of course.
And I only appeared on Pro Wrestling Illustrated, their cover, twice because they didn't think that people would buy copies with this face on a cover. But I'll dare say I did better than a lot of the people that they consider to be their cover boys.
I was going to say.
It's a completely subjective art, the art of covers. I did okay for myself.
I hope that editor got what was coming to him with the steel chair shot or something, because how could you look at that face? How could you not like that face? Look at that smile. Oh, and the thumbs up. You brought up Hell in the Cell. And lately, a lot of wrestling companies have been doing like media scrums. I can't imagine you being thrown off a Hell in the Cell, being thrown through it, thumbtacks, come out during Austin and Kane at King of the Ring 98. And then they're like, hey, Mick, we need you to go answer some questions from the wrestling media covered in thumbtacks. Can you imagine that?
Well, yeah, no, I was rushed to the hospital after that one. But I would have loved to have had the opportunity to address the media after the matches. I think it's something that had been missing. Now, of course, the latest one in AEW turned out a little unusual in a way that might not be good for business. But I like the idea of Roman Reigns talking to the press after a big victory. I think it gives that added touch to what we do.
Of course. Now, when you go to these cons, though, what's the difference between going to doing your one-man show versus going to a con? Because obviously you brought up alcohol, the age difference, but there must be more to that because you're putting on a performance on your one-man show. Obviously, when someone comes up to you and asks for an autograph, you're talking to them nice, but it's completely different.
Yeah, it's a lot different, but I would say I enjoy both equally. And in the case of the Granite State Con, it's a con I'm doing specifically because I love New Hampshire. I know that people, they pander to their audiences, and I'm up there with the greatest panderers of all time here, right here in New Hampshire. But I mean, it's a matter of written fact that I've been going up to the White Mountains every year since 1996, every year. So even during the pandemic, I was able to make it up by myself to Santa's Village, just so we wouldn't break that streak. We love it there. My 21-year-old, Mickey, a lot of people I have a son on the autism spectrum, and he worked a full summer at Clark's Trading Post. Loved it. So it's really a big part of us here in we love New Hampshire. I know Manchester is a 90-minute drive from the mountains, but I'll probably take a stroll up there. And I really like the people. And Manchester was only about 30 minutes from my relatives in Pepperell, Massachusetts. So I'm very familiar. So I was going up to Manchester on a yearly basis. They would always go to Manchester and Nashua to do their Christmas shopping. So yeah, it is a con I did specifically because I love the place. It's not as big a convention as a lot of them we go to. You go to the guest page and there's not nearly the number of guests. So I think, and I hope that a lot of them will go out of their way to come see me. The difference though, the positive is when you're doing the meet and greet, which is the favorite part of the show for a lot of people, by the nature of the meet and greet, lasting only 90 minutes or so after a show, you can't spend too much time with any one person. Whereas over the course of 3 days, especially if I see someone who needs a little extra attention, I'm pretty good at figuring that out. Being an autism dad, I can spend a little more time. I can do what I need to do to make people feel like the time they're spending on that line. And hopefully it's not a big line. Hopefully it's just a steady a flow, but not a prohibitive line. I can do what I think needs to be done to make that person feel like the time they spent on that line and the money they're paying, is there's money to be paid, is worth it. And I really like that feeling when someone walks away from a con and they have a huge smile on their face, or they put up a photo and they say that it was an amazing experience.
I was going to say, I met you January 1999, and I have the picture right here on my phone.
Let me put on glasses there. Oh, yeah. Where was that at?
So this is the day that Monday Night Raw aired, you winning the WWF Championship. So I show up as a kid thinking The Rock is the champion. I walk in, there you have the championship belt, and I still have it. It's gross looking, but I still have your autograph from that.
Was that Sports World in Everett?
Oh, I was 13 years old. My dad brought me. It was 10 degrees outside. We waited outside. Yeah. Didn't bring gloves. Didn't bring anything. We thought we could get right in. No, we couldn't get right in. But you brought it up, an experience meeting you, meet and greets. I met you. You were super nice to me. I always remembered it. I have the picture. And I again, you brought up these meet and greets and going to GraniteCon, like when someone meets a wrestler or anybody really, sometimes if the person is nice, they put on a lifetime experience memory in my brain. Yeah. And you did that for me, and you're doing it for me again right now. So I just wanted to say thank you for that, and thank you for doing your autographs, your meet and greets, because I never hear a bad word about Mick Foley.
Well, there are those who've met me before 6 a.m. in the airport who might. That's the one caveat. You cannot expect someone to be on their game when they're rushing for a flight and they haven't slept. But other than that, yeah, I think I usually do a pretty good job. And you see me there with the Mankind mask. I have found a way. We take a photo as Mankind, and we take a photo with Mick Foley. Boom. Bonus photo for everyone who goes to the con. You get the Mankind extra photo. And that's something, and I'm kind of giving away the secret, but like you talk about people's eyes lighting up when they realize, what, we're getting more than we thought we were getting. And that's something I love doing. I talked to my friend Kane, who steered me in the right direction to get the hair attached to the mask. Because up until then, what I would do with my cameo videos to do Mankind, I would get so close up that you could only see like a section of an eye, and So my little cousin, who was 4, called me her friend with one eye, and then I found out, yeah, with the wig, I can give the whole Mankind experience. Got quite the background there, where I've got the generic hotel walls.
It's all right. I did an interview with Billy Corgan, and he pretty much called me out. He's like, I was at a different location at NBC, and he was like, your background's terrible. I was like, thanks, Billy. Thanks.
Looks pretty good to me.
Have an experience with your podcast, Foley is Pod. Now, what made you even want to start a podcast? Because obviously you have a story to share. You are sharing it, but why now?
Well, I'll tell you what, the pandemic changed my mind about a few different things. I mentioned Cameo. That was the first time I'd ever started making money without traveling in all the years since I was, 19 years old when I started.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, make a living, I had to travel to do it. And all of a sudden I'm given this opportunity to, have some income coming in when everything is shut down. 6 months of bookings just gone. And I was like, I kind of like this. I kind of like this. And so I'd also been convinced that even if people knew some of the stories, because they've got 5 volumes of memoirs, that it's different to hear them. And I'd actually heard that when Bruce Springsteen was doing his show on Broadway, a review said, "Yeah, we've read some of the stories, but it's different to hear the guy tell them." And over the years, you become a master at subtly exaggerating those stories for listening pleasure. So
of course.
I love doing it. I look forward to it. We just take people down on a stroll down memory lane. It's not a combative situation. If there is something that is, like I'll weigh in on the whole AEW melee. But basically, we're taking people on a walk down memory lane, so that in a crazy world that doesn't really need any more adversarial commentary, this is a nice, comfortable place for anyone to go and enjoy, a few hours of pleasant and humorous conversation.
Well, I'll tell you what, the first episode you aired, I listened to them all, but the first one really hit me in the head with something, because you brought up a quote that said, "Don't let someone else measure your success." And the day you said that was like the day everything I do in life has been flipped around, because I'm like, why am I caring about what someone else thinks of what I'm doing? I should care about, am I succeeding? Do I feel like I'm succeeding? So just that one show, that one line, and I've read all your books. That was the first book I actually wanted to read as a child. So it's very interesting to see you inspiring people still to this day with your podcast.
Yeah, I think that's important. Yeah, we get to determine whether or not our own lives are successful. So some of the people I meet and are really impressed by are not people with high income jobs or high profile jobs. They work with elephant rehabilitation, or something along those lines. And then you're like, wow, you chose to do this. Some of the people I met at the Paul Newman Hole in the Wall Gang camp obviously made an impact. I haven't been there many years, but these were really bright young people. They had the world in the palm of their hand, and they're choosing to spend their time with children who are going through tough times. And they were just so polite and so nice, and went out of their way to make everyone around them feel special. And I thought, I need a little more of that. So you learn from positive people, because I think we all remember those people who made us feel good. And then we remember every now and then someone who did not. And we tried, I think, at least I try to behave in a way that will make people feel good.
I hope so, because I did bump into my elementary school bully one day at a wedding, and he thought everything was cool, and I was like, "No, nothing's not cool, but I'll tell you why it's not cool." And he understood. Oh crap! Did I do that to you? I'm like, "Yes, you did those terrible things to me. I still remember." 20 years later, but still, I guess your inspiring words keep inspiring me and others who either grew up with you or discovering you now or finding out through your podcast what you're doing. But I know you're a busy man, so someday me and you will have to schedule a time to go to Storyland together and have a blast.
Glen, New Hampshire, love Storyland. Santa's Village. Now, can I share a secret with you?
Just me and you. You can tell.
The reason. Now, you don't have many young listeners in here, do you?
Depends. Depends what age. I'll jump around.
Well, let's just say the reason that I don't have my own name on my Zoom is because I have been known to have conversations on Christmas Eve while wearing the red suit. And so we certainly don't want Mick Foley's name popping up when a young one is who's in the magic age is talking to that man in the red suit. So we try to keep it authentic as possible for the those in the magic age. Therefore, when I pop up on Zoom, I am Santa.
Well, Santa, thank you so much for being here. Mick Foley being here on NBC's 10 Count. I really appreciate it. I know you're a busy man, so I really, really appreciate it. Thank you for putting memories in my brain and everybody else's. And again, Granite Con, September 16th through 18th. Go there, meet Mick Foley, get an autograph, talk to him, have a good time, take off your sock, have him sign it, do what you want to do. Thanks for being here, Mick, and have a great day, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thanks
Bye.
a lot.